Water Toolbox, Magical Musketeers, and even the Galaxy hero that we needed. Make sure you guys smash the link, crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. So we're returning back to the water world here, and yes, I understand that this format is up in literally 2 days. This is kind of like the little last challengers that we had, kind of bringing up the rear here, showcasing, you know, some of the cool ideas. And I mean, some of those actually are just how good the first Penguin actually is as a card conceptually, because this card has done a lot of very cool things for the development of the game, and I've kind of appreciated just seeing, you know, what decks are able to actually do this, because revealing any water synchro down here that you need to deploy this little guy is actually pretty good. So also, yes, they're going down to like 2 Dominus Impulses in the deck. The changes that happen within the list, I don't personally think are enough to really shut this deck down and put it into a negative direction. It's just, it's going to have to adapt. And honestly, the deck is the Japanese side has done a really good job with adapting. Next up here, we have Magical Musketeers, and as most of you know, they did get this really new card, a really cool new card called Caspar that lets you put something onto your opponent's field, and then allows you basically to set up and trigger your own copy of that. It also shuts off Imperm from your opponent, which, by the way, as time has kind of gone on, that does prove to kind of be a little bit more hilarious. Now, instead of playing Dip Sea Archfiend, they're basically playing the Dark Magician Girl sub package, which is actually not a bad idea, because, you know, getting access to Dark Magician of Destruction is usually a pretty good little setup here, just so you can kind of do your thing. Truthfully, outside of that, I mean, I'd rather just play the Dark Dragoon as the, you know, extra little piece to go into this, but this build feels like it doesn't necessarily need that extra gas to get stabilized and go. So I mean, your trade-off is like extra free bodies, extra deck thinning is good. You know, you're relying on the Magical Musketeer stuff just to kind of go into the good generic Fiend stuff to go. Next up here, we have the Galaxy hero that you know you needed. The fact that this build is dumping in not 1, not 2, but triple Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, you know, you could have achieved the same result and played Foolish Burial Goods instead, and felt like you had less bricks to rely on, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about here, but, you know, they're also playing the Topaz Tiger as their brick, which is fine. Topaz Tiger does get to act as that level 4 that you might need, but holy bully, just triple Diabels in here. We're not even bothering to go down like the other package, you know, no Diabell Star at all. It's just, we got the Diabell Star Vengeance in here, triple of the White Witch, and we're basically off to the races. You're basically, I really want to say that this is like a glorified rank 8 turbo deck, but I mean, even like the rank 8 stuff that you are playing in the deck isn't even anything too crazy to talk about, just negations, alright? Next up here we have, this has been a pretty recurring theme lately, though this is kind of a horrifying thought. You know, seeing Radiant Typhoon get access to Griffin Rider is not exactly something that I had on my, you know, watch list. But the thing is, like, all of your pieces here can basically spell some themselves. I guess the only thing that you might be slightly worried about might be what if you have to deploy the Crocia on, like, a normal summon or something, but, like, realistically, I mean, how often is that actually going to come up? Because it's not like this card just can't beam itself out and basically choose to extend and play the game through there, which is honestly kind of nice. I also do see, yeah, there's your triple win condition. The more that we have, you know, had the opportunity to see why this deck is actually kind of the monster force that it is hilarious. You just got to give it up for telling your opponent, nope, you're not playing the game. Next up here, we have more of the rank turbo good stuff, and I gotta tell you guys, max C to 2 is just, it's so weird to see it going to 1, but alright. So basically, this is utopic turbo good stuff, honestly. The fact that they even got in the Pegasus Twin Saber in here is hilarious to me. You've also got the Unbreakable Exceed Barrier, you've got the Numbers Protection. You've got pretty much all of the bells and whistles I feel like a deck like this wants to actually be able to have. You also got the Gaga Utopic Tactics in here. So, I mean, look, the Utopic Turbo decks are cool and all. My only thing is, like, if you get your game plan generically stopped, like, you really have a lot of issues recovering. Also, Gygas actually being a rock monster for you to toggle into off the Gallant Granite is great. Extra extenders into extenders. That's the kind of deck that we love to see. Next up here, we have Elven Notes. I've been following a lot of this recently, man. This deck continues to make me very happy. Now, obviously, when you see the Crowley package, you typically know that Borreload Savage Dragon's going to be the one creeping around the corner, and it's just kind of the inevitability at this point. You know, the meta truly, truly, truly loves having this card staying legal, but I mean, it typically just turns into one negate. And the fact that you have turbo access to Artemis as it is just kind of telling of the times here. Like, it's like, hey, plug this into the combo line and go. Also, Elven Notes themselves not really having any downside. You've also got the Fallen of White package built into this as well. You know, this package just being able to synchro jump into the Ecclesia and go just works out so much better. What's Branded Fusion? We've power crapped out some of the cards that we had considered to be massively important pieces on the puzzle lines. Next up here, ooh, we have some more Elven Notes for you. Now, this list, you do see we are playing the regular Fallen of Albaz in here. We are going with the 2 Fallen of White, which is fine. You know, obviously, toggling into this to do the sub-combo line is usually pretty good. Also, bringing up the triple Nadir Servant usually is pretty strong. Obviously, you know, the minute you slam down this Nadir Servant, you know, you're locking your extra deck. So, you got to be a little bit careful with how you're choosing to explore this particular package here. But, I mean, toggling into a Fallen and the Virtuous, usually for that follow-up, or, you know, being able to get this set up like whatever sub-combo line you're trying to do off of this, usually does work out pretty well. Also, we're playing Chaos Archfiend in here. That's kind of cool. What's a Chaos Angel, actually? I don't know, this kind of proves that, like, you do have some variants that you're able to kind of work with in the deck building space. So, hey, yeah, I'll give it to you guys. Chaos Archfiend's been seeing a little bit of decent play. Next up here, we have the Dragon Maid special. You know, you do tend to see a lot of these Dragon Maid decks just kind of wanting to splash in things like the Draco Tail 5 mana because it's a free, easy access point to fuse. Like, I feel like we don't talk enough about how good 5 mana is as a card technically, because it just allows you this great opportunity to do, you know, the fusion plays. Also, you know, as the Draco Tail package continues to dwindle down smaller and smaller for availability, it does kind of prove like how fragile that this package kind of feels at some points, but obviously the Dragon Maid deck needs as much support as it can actually get. So I do think that this is good. You've already incorporated in all the traps. The red reboot in the main deck might be a little bit much, but I feel like this is inspired based on the localized level that, you know, this particular deck came out of. Next up here, we have some Vanquishal for, oh no. Japan figured out that you can play Nemesis Flag and Protoss in this deck. Oh my. So, I guess I shouldn't be surprised to see, you know, Protoss kind of creeping around back here. He is definitely one of those cards that tends to write his own narrative and how stupid he actually can be sometimes. That's just crazy to think about. That this deck has found a way. Man, if the TCG had figured this out, this would have been a problem. I do also see that we are playing Dempsey down here as another Ring 4 turbo option. Of course, the fact that we've got the Dododo stuff built in here too is hilarious, man. Hey, TCG, why did we never think of this? Why did we never think of the idea of using this to bridge into Protoss when we had this opportunity? Because that's such a horrifying thought that, you know, we could have just had something so much crazier. And then we've also got, some pure old Mitsurugi. You know, this end of the ruler BS that they've been pulling off has been wild to see. I have genuinely enjoyed watching the evolution of this deck actually doing its thing. Just because milling down the Mitsurugi Ritual, pulling it back off of, you know, purple here is incredibly busted. And, you know, I never would have thought that Demise, the End of the World, would bridge the gap like this, but he's done a great job at it. So what do you guys think about today's interesting decks? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys.
Patrons!
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.